her now. She's so calm. Look at her like, this is great. So maybe one of the times that you bring her, we can, maybe after we do our volunteer makeover at the rescue, we built a little obstacle course, and it would be really cool to see if we could get her to go over some of that stuff at Liberty.
Yeah.
To see if she would, because there's a lot more space for her to get away in there.
Yes.
But if she would learn to hey, go get on that, or go get on that, that would be super cool.
I did put in a lot of volunteer hours before when Janet was in.
I put in a lot of time. I did a lot with the paper.
Now, if she lets me stand up here with her, that's really good. But it's quite like when she's home.
Oh, wow.
So both up here.
I'm still above you. I'm okay.
Both up here.
Are you getting this in?
Yes.
I am really amazed. I was thinking that today. I would love to be able to go to her and pass her and not put the thing on her and just have her eventually come up and go with me.
My stallion does that with me, and not every time, but almost every time.
And the big thing too, because it's hard. They know they get to the edge of their possibility of escaping here.
Oh yeah, they take it. Yeah.
And but it's not really real. Like we have to maybe as she gets a little bit better, try it in the field. And the hardest part is for me because I have to not let her find any relaxation. So I have she breaks. I have to keep the pressure on her. Right. She can't go find a corner that she can get quiet. So I got to get loud and pop the whip and not let her realize no matter where you are, you're better off to be with me. Because we had to do some commercials and stuff at the dinner show, and they always wanted to see these settings, and we might block off a section of beach. They had money to do that stuff, and we would get a little section. But out of camera line, we had those fence things, but it looked like the horse was working at Liberty with you at a beach, but it wasn't they could go run up the coastline if they wanted to. There was a shorter thing that was just off camera, but everything you could see looked like, oh wow, you're on the beach, and the horse could move. But you had to spend a bit of time, for the horse to be can I leave and run after it, get after it a little bit, and hug it, and then say, okay.
Yvonne, we live between your two places here in Bell. So someday you'll have to come by and visit so you can meet that other horse I was telling you that is braver and more outgoing than her. Super focused.
Super. Yeah, she's about textbook going day to day, And they actually have a Liberty National Championship now. Do they? Yeah. Dan Jay was also in the movie. He won that road to the World Championship contest that I judged. And right after that, he was 3 months at London. He came up with us. He said, hey, can you help me with a couple things? And So anyway, he had raised that very good. And so him and his wife, they live in Kentucky, and they started a Liberty National Championship. I'm just going to let her put her nose down. That would be awesome. But girl, you stay down and I stay up. She wants me to be down there too.
There she goes. She's dropping her head a little. There she goes, a little bit.
But she's sticking and handling quite a bit of pressure before she's breaking now. You
and that's all I could call it.
And it's like removed. It's like a little black ball. And now it's like you can see in there, and you know, like you can see that she's listening through her eyes, which is great. Great feeling. I'm super happy with her. She gets all the little stickers, all the days, huh? Because that's the biggest thing, is that you want them to realize the best place they could be is with you, and then whatever they got to do, be with you. Hey, come here. You don't want to be over there.
Yeah, she does need some work on that distance. She needs the distance to come, but yet not come
Yes.
so into the space.
Yeah, that's one of those saddleboards we got from rescue from that group that lady died. And these horses had been just kind of brood mares, not messed with or anything. They're like 14, 15 years old. And I paired one up with one of our volunteers here. And it was kind of going okay, but the horse was super aloof horse, you know. And it was kind of going along, but not mentally connected, not really paying attention. And, you know, she thought it was okay. And then all of a sudden she realized I don't actually have any control of this horse at all, and it's not paying attention to me. So I was like, all right, I'll have a look at her. And I brought her in here, and I was just trying to get her to like listen and focus and pay attention to me. And whenever I asked her to move her shoulder, she would do the exact opposite and actually like try to climb on top of me. And I had to like beat her off of me 2 or 3 times. And I got up on the pedestal just so she couldn't keep trying to knock me over or whatnot. And I had a halter and lead rope on her too. And it's like this mare was like absolutely gone, but I'm there with her. So I'm on the pedestal and just trying to make her move away from me with a halter and lead rope on. Get your shoulder away from me. She like just stupidly leapt onto the pedestal with the intent of knocking me off the pedestal like 3 or 4 times. And I had to be like super sharp with every technique. But when you know you have to do it, you have to do it, and there's no other choice. And I was like wicked sharp with her. And finally, I thought I saw some like little friggin' light come on in her head. And I did a little more, and I was like, okay, I think something. And I got her out the next morning, and she was like so much better. And then I made a lot of progress. And then she came in the afternoon, and she called me from the round pen crying. She's like, what did you do? It's a different horse. And I said, she just learned how to like unfocus, but she knows no change in her handle at all. And I was like, that is, and it's not dangerous.
Oh, we need to get Yoda.
But it was like super hard like that at first. That would have been tricky if like somebody could video me that. She's supposed to love horses. Look at her being freaking crap on her, but you know, but I had no choice. Otherwise it's like safely, and you're gonna be stuck in your little weird autistic shell for the rest of your life, and nobody's getting to you, and you fall there and up.
My horse Yoda he's
I'll add there's nothing to say you can't do something.
yeah, I'm gonna have to try it.
You got around that.
I've done so much of firming up with him, and it hasn't helped.
He's a different.
He went to a therapeutic riding. I leased 2 of my horses for a summer, at a therapeutic riding place, and he did work. He only the adults, horses for heroes, he could do it. But my other horse, a little girl with no arms, would ride him and everything. He was that good, you know. But Yoda was naughty. He's got that naughty little pony attitude.
Well, that might be like a bit challenging or a bit
Yeah.
cheeky, and maybe it's not yours.
He is very challenging. He's very challenging, but he's not.
He's a challenge.
He's not aggressive. He's sweet. You know,
Yeah, they just like
He's
don't
just
like
smart.
getting bossed around too much.
well, he messes with every horse in the pasture too, but he's not the top horse. He's just
Yeah, just nudging
playful
around,
and
stuff. Yeah, and
naughty.
he could be a mixture of like social and challenging.
He's
and
definitely social and challenging.
Yeah, and then like depends what's on the front side. So she's straight aloof, but if you put pressure on a horse and you see like something different, like if a horse seems like it's pretty social, and then you start bossing it around past its comfort zone, and then all of a sudden it wants to hurt you or make a face, or you know maybe pin his ears or get grumpy with you, then you're like, aha. So when you get pressure on this horse, it turns a bit challenging. So when you're with a social horse, mostly you have to keep them paying attention to you. But unlike an aloof horse, which often tunes out and pays attention to nothing, a social horse is often paying attention to every single thing. So when you take
That's the way he is.
yeah, you take a social horse to a horse show and you think you brought him to a horse party, you know, especially if it's down, yay, wow, this is great, a single
Oh, no, he's not a stallion, but he thinks he is.
yeah, and they just think, wow, like I got all these friends and I can do stuff. But then you start bossing them around, and then they're like, wait a minute, I'm not so happy about that, and you see that side. So you have to, as soon as they get challenging, as soon as you see that, you have to deal with them. It's like, hey, I'm the boss of you. I'm the boss of you at that moment. And so you might go from, hey, pay attention to this, to what? You know, like, don't even think about that, you know? If there's any discussion about who the herd leader is, it's me. It's me, just so you know. And she's not so much, that at all. She wants a herd leader, and now that she's figured it out, she's like super good about trying to figure everything out. She's fun, really cool.
Yeah, Yoda was born on our place, and he's completely different from the other one that was born on our place.
Yeah, you're a good girl. And I think she likes it. I think she likes it.
Yeah, I think she.
But yeah, you should be able to go out in her pasture and make a little noise or pop a whip,
Yeah.
bring lunch whip up and crack it, and then you pick them up here. You know, she comes from far different distance. I don't say that I never use street, but I don't use them like so reliably. I use them quite strategically to try to get something I want. Yeah. Like for example, I have a horse in there that I taught him how to lay down, and not all horses will sit, you know, because you kind of have to. Mostly as the horse is getting up, they go through the moment of sitting for a second, and you got to stall them out right in that second. So I got him to lay down, and then I just managed as he was getting up, like while he was in that sit position, stuff a cracker in his mouth or something, and then he was like, huh? And so as he was getting up, he would pause in that moment, be like, are you kidding me? And so he started to get the hang of that, you know.
Gotcha.
But that's not, or if you have a horse, I had a thoroughbred I was doing a thoroughbred makeover with, and I wanted to, my whole act was, you know, I rode him a little bit. I only had like 2.5 minutes, so I had to be quick about it. I rode him a bit, and then I hopped off and pulled the saddle off him, and we were dressed as pirates. And he had like a patch thing over his eye, and then we ran and we jumped on the pedestal looking